Hey, shalom, shalom. I want to start souls by giving all praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS and honors to brothers doing the work in truth, while sincerity. Just gonna do a quick one, right? It's I'm a bit late, but it's the video Apostle Gabbar done the other day. Where basically, they referred. These IURC cats are referred to someone in their congregation as the pocket. Right, and the first thing that came to my mind is that's what these nasty, grimy ass women do, man. Right? They'll have three different niggas. One will be, food. One will be the bank, or in this case the pocket, and the other would be I don't know, the one that she's actually into. Well, but that's something. That's a title. That's that these women would. I mean, that's demonic, man. Right? It's effeminate. That's that ain't brotherly. The pocket. Right. So what? That shows you only what do you call it? Only look for that brother for funds. Not even the brother with the pocket. Not even. Because at least then you're acknowledging him as a brother. Nah, he was just a bank to these, to these individuals, right? Which, as the Apostle Gabbar greatly put in his video, the IURC is crumbling, like the title section in the opening of their videos. You know how you get the wall that crumbles. Right, and the apostle said this a while back, man, that IURC, the Lord's gonna put an end to that, right? And guess what? The apostles are being proven right again, right? So this is Sirach 12. It says, "When thou wilt do good, know to whom thou doest it," right? And that's why you're gonna have the discernment to know when you're doing good for someone. You know that who you're doing it to, right? Because those guys that that ain't good. Right, that means not that ain't good. They ain't good, right? They ain't they ain't a godly man, as it goes on to say. Right, really know them. Right, it's like how they here at GreatMillStone we've been blessed with the apostles, right? Who have have labored, and they're pushing 100% truth. Right, and we honestly believe that. We believe that with 100% certainty, right? And it's one of those ones where they don't ask much of you. They Apostle say, look, man, you're supposed to pay your tithes, but look, man, if it's impossible, if it puts you in straits, don't do it. You don't have to do it, right? And ultimately, the Lord knows your heart. And the Lord knows your heart, whether you're wanting to do it, but then you physically can't, right? Or then the Lord knows whether you're making up excuses as to why you can't. The Lord knows your heart, right? The apostles don't, they don't put burdens on you, right? But these guys at at these other camps, they do, right? To call a man the pocket, it's just like, nigga, what you doing, man? Right? It says, so shall thou be thanked for thy benefits. It says, do good to the godly man, right? And thou shalt find a recompense. Right, and if not from him, yet from the Most High, right? So if if you are doing good, right, you might do good. What do you call it? To to one of the brothers or whatever, and that brother may not be able to hit you back, right? Whatever charity that you've gave to him, right? But the thing is, what did the Lord Yahushua say? In fact, let me look for that. Let me do it like this instead. Open a new tab. My just if you bear with me. Right, this is Matthew 25:37. It says, then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee an hungry and fed thee, or thirsty and gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger and took thee in, or naked and clothed thee? Or when saw we thee sick or in prison and came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of these, or one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. right? So when you do your arms, or or whatever it is, that the Lord has given you a lot to do, when if the person you do it to doesn't return it, the Lord sees it, because ultimately you was doing it to him, right? He goes on to say, there can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil, nor to him that giveth no alms. Give to the godly man, and help not a sinner. Right? Extorting a man, he's sinning, he's going off. Right? He isn't a godly man. Them guys are sinners. Right? You can tell everything you need to know about that nickname, the pocket. Right? So we'll just continue in the scriptures. This is Matthew 23:25. It says, "Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! Right, for you make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess." Right? Extortion. Right? These guys are extortioners, man. Right? This is 1 Corinthians 6, and we'll start from verse 9. It says, "Know ye not the unrighteousness? The unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate." I'll pause on effeminate now, because through the Spirit, that the first thing that came to my mind, right, when I heard the pocket, was like, first was shock, right, if I'm remembering correctly, shock. And then it was like, man, that's what these nigger women do, man. Right? You know the stories. Girl will be on her phone as the, bank or food or clothing or hair. Right? The nigger she only goes to get her, if she needs to get her hair done, or the nigger she goes to when she's uptight. Right? That's how these, that's how these men were looking at this individual, man. Right? It says, "No abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revelers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of the Most High." Right? So the Lord sees what's happening. Right? The Lord sees what's happening. Right? And I saw a comment on the Apostles' page. I don't know what brother it was, Brother Elder. I don't know who it was. Right? We basically said, once again, a madness has gone on in in Israel, and GMS are the only ones that are saying anything about it. Right? This is John 8:44. Says, "Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do." Right, now this is Yahushua speaking to Israelites, man. It's in the year of your father the devil. And, to do that's demonic, man. That's something Esau would do. Right? Esau likes lending upon usury. Esau likes extorting an individual till they have nothing left. Right? You get these payday loans with like 1,000% interest. Right? You have this system in general. Right? You go to work until you're 70 or whatever the retirement age is. Right? And then you can't even afford to retire properly. That's the story of Jake. Jake can't afford to retire. Right? And who's that for? Because of Esau, the so-called white man. But that's the same way these niggas were acting, man. Right? Just looking at a man for money and just, keep asking and asking. And, without cause. Right? In fact, let me look for this real quick. No, I can't think of the one. But man, we're supposed to be content, man. The Apostle Sprout, the Apostle Gabar, once again, speak on that. Just being content, right? You have what you have, right? But these guys, what did he apparently wanted? A house, right? Got a 15-seat a van or whatever, right? I'm just going off what I heard in the Apostles video. I've not watched the video myself, right? But you just you don't need any of that shit. You don't need it. You have as Apostle said in this video, you got food, yeah. Right? Have you got a place to stay? Yeah. You got clothes in your back? Yeah, that's good enough. In fact, it might have been opposed to harm. I mean, hey, but it's the same sentiment, man. Right? Scriptures say, we're one in Yahweh Shai. Right? Like, we're one body. Right? We all speak the same thing, man. Hey, we just about being content. Right? And let me grab this to close, because Nate was, butchering the scriptures. He was all there like, yeah, man, when a brother comes in, this young man comes in, he has to go through things. That's not what that's not what the Lord's talking about. I'm not saying you go to then go and extort him, right? Now, I mean, I ain't gonna speak on the individual, but you have had instances where you've had camp leaders, even in GMS, right? Dealing unrighteously with brethren. But look at and shit, and that's the difference. That's the difference, right? Because what happened when the apostles got wind of it, right? They went there. They said, what was, found out what was going on, and when it came down to it, like, it was either basically guys, you don't see them guys no more, right? What does Nathaniel do, right? Starts making excuses, right? Says my Sirach 2 says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation, set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Right? It says, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. And right, and in those instances when that happened in GMS, the men that were underneath those wicked oppressors, right? Those men, they were increased. Right? But it ain't up to you to say, look, man, I'm gonna put this man through some stuff, right? That's that's the Lord, because who you serving? Is he serving you, or is he serving the Lord? The scripture says that if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thyself for temptation. So the Lord will set things up that you have to go through, right? Let me jump back to verse 4. It says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. Right? And hey, you ain't supposed to be butchering scriptures to, hey brother, hey, whatever, you best, give me your money, hey, still stuff what the scriptures say, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. Right? You can imagine these grimy niggas doing shit like that, man. Right? This is just nothing different than the bloody Christian church. That's what these guys are on. Right? It says, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Right? So hey, look, man, that's all I got. That's all I got. Yeah, man, I mean, Lord's gonna deal with people that ain't dealing with brothers properly, man. Right? And hey, don't, if you're don't let this put you off from, giving your alms and your tithes, because that is, that is required of you, right? Apostle brought out the scripture in Malachi where it says, wherein have you robbed the Most High, right? And then that's through tithes, right? You are supposed to give your tithes and your offering, right? The scriptures also say charity covereth a multitude of sins. Right, so don't let this put you off, because you are still meant to do that. But these guys were doing it in wickedness, such as Jake do. Like, for instance, I'll just say this real quick, like sacrifice. Right, there was nothing wrong with sacrifice, but what did Jake do? They started being wicked with the sacrifice, man. Right, but well, yeah, Lord's will that was edifying, and if there's any righteous men. Or the Lord will deliver the righteous man. Scripture say, my sheep hear my voice. Right, from all of these, camps that are, teaching the wrong doctrine. Right, for all these camps that are full of wicked leaders. Right, the Lord will pluck his men from out of them. Right, so Lord's will that was edifying. Till the next time, I say, Shalom.